there, welcome to the Daily O. If you're feeling stressed, the university's counseling department is having a 1-hour seminar on stress management in the student union tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We've got some news coming up about the border wall and Venezuela's self-proclaimed president. But first, let's look at the weather.
You can start reading.
Thursday, there is a high of 51 and a low of 31. Friday, there's also a high of 51 and a low of 31.
We're coming back to the Earth.
And into the weekend, on Saturday, it's going to be a low of 39.
We're coming back now.
Today was the All Majors Career Fair. Sapphire Cervantes was there. Here's a look. With graduation quickly approaching and summer internships coming up, Oklahoma State is having their career fairs this week. Here's a few tips to help you out. Tip number 1, print out resumes to give to your employer. Tip number 2, come prepared. Find out what companies are going to be there at the career fair and research them. Tip number 3, dress for success. First impressions are very important. Lastly, prioritize what employers you want to speak with, show up early, and most importantly, have fun and be yourself. The Stillwater Medical Center Board of Trustees approved a $12 million loan yesterday to renovate the labor and delivery unit at the hospital during their meeting Monday. The hospital is planning to expand the unit to include 3 new labor and delivery rooms and 6 postpartum rooms. The rooms will be completely private, so new mothers won't have to share their bathrooms or showers. The labor and delivery unit changes will happen in unison with the expansion and renovation of the surgical wing. Construction is expected to begin in May. President Trump's summit with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is underway. The leaders kicked off the event in Hanoi, Vietnam, a one-on-one meeting, 8 months after their first meeting in Singapore. Trump said the relationship he has formed with Kim is the greatest achievement of his diplomatic efforts. He continued to praise Kim, calling him a great leader and pledging support to North Korea's economic development. President Donald Trump, quote, "I think that your country has tremendous economic potential, unbelievable, unlimited. I think you will have a tremendous future with your country, a great leader, and I look forward to watching it happen and helping it to happen, and we will help it happen," end quote. In an interview with CNN's Nick Patton Walsh, Venezuela's self-proclaimed president, Juan Guaido, said he will be back in Venezuela soon, that he plans to, quote, exercise his duties as president. Guaido added that jailing him will not end the protests and that the change in Venezuela is moving forward on Tuesday. The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting in Venezuela, following a weekend of violence at the country's southern border with Brazil and the western border of Colombia. This occurred as the U.S. imposed new sanctions against those closest to embattled President Nicolas Maduro.
Yes, there is no doubt. But remember that the exercise of politics in Venezuela is criminalized, not only towards me. Today there are 1,000 political prisoners in Venezuela. Today there are political assassinations in Venezuela. A dilemma between peace and war is a false dilemma. Today in Venezuela, they are massacring the people. There is in Venezuela a silent genocide when you can't find medication for critical patients. Today in Venezuela, 3 weeks ago, 8 minor children died from diarrhea and vomiting. No one dies in a normal world, but they had a severe malnutrition diagnosis.
Coming up, we have Carney with what's trending after this quick break.
my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100-degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Porter has some tips on seeking treatment and soothing the pain in today's What's Trending.
Hey everyone, I'm Carney Porter, and here's What's Trending. Most sore throats are usually triggered by the common cold or flu, but the cold, dry air can also be a factor. Experts say gargling with salt water can be an effective way to ease a sore throat, as salt dries moisture and can prevent bacteria from growing. Soothe your irritated throat by staying hydrated to thin mucus. Hot liquids such as tea and broth are good choices because the warmth soothes pain. Adding honey to your tea or other warm drinks may also help. Honey has known antimicrobial properties which speed healing. Studies in children have shown that honey is better than popular over-the-counter cough suppressants. Keep the throat moist by sucking on a piece of hard candy or a medicated lozenge that can have a numbing effect. If your sore throat is severe, accompanied by a fever or swollen glands, you might have a bacterial infection and should see a doctor. And that's what's trending for the Daily O. I'm Carney Porter.
Thanks, Carney. Today was the All Majors Career Fair, and tomorrow is the STEM Career Fair. To help you guys get that summer internship, I made some tips and tricks for the career fair. With graduation quickly approaching and summer internships coming up, Oklahoma State is having their career fairs this week. Here's a few tips to help you out. Tip number 1, print out resumes to give to your employer. Tip number 2, come prepared. Find out what companies are going to be there at the career fair and research them. Tip number 3, dress for success. First impressions are very important. Lastly, prioritize what employers you want to speak with, show up early, and most importantly, have fun and be yourself. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, David Moore will bring you sports.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100 degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Hello and welcome to the sports segment of the Daily O. I am David Moore. The Oklahoma State men's basketball team played in Lubbock, Texas tonight. They play in Lubbock, Texas tonight against number 11 Texas Tech. The one-on-one guys will give you a little preview of that later on, but first, Chris Notch has an important announcement for the O'Colly March Madness Bracket Challenge with $1,000 worth of prize money.
Hey everyone, my name is Chris Notch with the O'Colly. Today I'll be showing you how to register for the O'Colly Tournament Bracket Challenge. So you will go to contest.ocolly.com. Once you are there, you can either click here on the register tab or up on the top right. Once you are there, you can put your display name, email, password, first, last name, state, and phone number. This is just for contact purposes at the end of the bracket. So once you are registered, you will not have to worry about anything else at the moment until the selection Sunday has occurred. Once you are ready, once the bracket is open, you will go up to My Picks, and the bracket will appear right here, and you can pick your teams. Of course, the bracket is going to open on Monday, March 18th at 2 p.m., and it will close on Tuesday at 8 p.m. on March 19th. So again, that's Tuesday, March 19th at 8 p.m. it closes. Also, if you would like, you can add a jersey. You can add any kind of graphic you would like. If you would like to do a jersey, you would just go up to the top right, click on jersey, and you can add name, stripes, whatever you so choose. When it comes to standings, you can either go on your homepage, it will tell you your points and also the leader's points, or you can go to the standings and see how everyone else ranks. So again, that is the O'Colly Tournament Bracket Challenge. We have 3 prizes to offer. First place will get $500. Second place will get $300, and third place will get $200. Again, $500 for first, $300 for second, and $200 for third. So please do share this with your family and friends, and we hope you guys have a lot of fun doing this. I know a lot of the staff here at the O'Colly is excited to get on this and to see how we rank against everyone else. So please do, again, share with family and friends. Any questions, please email me at notch@okstate.edu. I will gladly answer any and all questions that you have. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris. With this announcement from him, I am declaring myself to enter the bracket tournament. I think some of the teams that I'll be going for will be Duke, depending on Zion Williams' injury, seeing if he gets much better. I think Virginia will look to redeem themselves from last year's debacle against UMBC. I think another strong team that some people might overlook are Nevada, seeing as they're not one of the more well-known teams that people know. And then I think some of those sleepers I got will be Marquette and Wright State. I think they can make some noise. And my team that I think will shock everybody, granted they have to make it first, I think the Vermont Catamounts will make some noise. I have a special place for them in my heart. But if you want to be involved and challenge my pick, you can go to contest.ocali.com for more details. Moving from the NCAA to NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder traveled to the Pepsi Center, hoping to narrow the deficit against the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets have not lost their last 8 home games, making this a predictably difficult night for the OKC Thunder. Thomas Fleming with the report.
MVP contender Paul George and the Oklahoma City Thunder took on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets in the Mile High City. George started off hot on both ends with the steal and the vicious slam to put the Thunder up 11-7 early in the first quarter. The Nuggets made a comeback in the second quarter. Torrey Craig gets the steal but doesn't convert on the layup. Will Barton cleaned up the mess with a putback slam that helped put up the Nuggets 64-51 at half. The Thunder tried to make a comeback. Russell Westbrook dished out one of his 9 dimes to Jeremy Grant for the corner tray, but Denver took over in the fourth. Jokic drove into the paint and found Jamal Murray as he nailed the open three-pointer. Jokic finished the Thunder off with a nice layup off the pick and roll. Jokic finished the game with 36 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Oklahoma City Thunder followed the Denver Nuggets 121-112. The Thunder moved to 38-22 on the season and will face the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. This has been Thomas Fleming for the Daily O.
Most of the Denver Nuggets fans were happy with the victory, but one of them might have celebrated a little too far. Midway in the third quarter, Russell Westbrook was dribbling to the left wing when he received an uncomfortable approach. After the referee blew the whistle for an illegal screen from Steven Adams, Westbrook turned his back to the crowd to see the foul call. Then a young fan wearing a Nuggets jacket stood up and touched Westbrook when he had his back turned. Westbrook immediately turned around and stared with the young fan before talking with his dad, and the dad embraced the young culprit. Westbrook said he told the kid's dad to get him under control. And although he was okay with the kid, Westbrook was not happy with how everything happened. Westbrook says, quote, "For all the fans, though, there is too much leeway for the fans to be able to touch the players and get away with it. And then you can't react and do the things that we need to do to protect ourselves. But I can't do nothing. What am I going to do? Hop into the stands? But there has to be some type of rule or some type of boundary set that you can't allow that." End quote. Coming back to the action at Lubbock, Mike Boynton and company will tip off the action just over half an hour from now. Boynton gave J.K. Hadlock his debut in the loss against Kansas State last Saturday, making him the 5th of the walk-ons from the tryout to see the court this season. With 4 incoming freshmen, the one-on-one guys sat down with Ocali beat writer Hallie Hart to talk about the changes for next year's OSU's roster.
Thanks, guys. So we're joined by Hallie Hart of the Ocali. All right, so Mac Boynton's in his second year. He's 31-32. They're 10-17 right now with a game tonight in Lubbock, which we'll get to quickly. But as a summary, in his second year, there's been a lot of legends who have kind of struggled in their second year, but he's dealt with some, kind of uncharacteristic things in college basketball. He's had to deal with the FBI investigation, releasing some players. What do you think he's done in his second year to kind of keep the program together as a whole and keep the wheels from falling off? Because there's a lot of people who wouldn't be able to handle this.
Yeah, you're right about that for sure. And, you mentioned how there's been some legendary coaches who've struggled in their second year, but I don't know if they've had to face situations quite like his, because like you mentioned, with the player dismissals and, going back to his first year with the Lamont Evans investigation, there's been a lot for him to deal with. But I think one thing about Mike Boynton, and this is also something that his wife Jenny said when I did an interview with her, is he's really just a guy who keeps his cool. He doesn't let adversity phase him or make him get too emotional. He just kind of keeps that even-keeled mentality through things. And so I think that's one thing, is he's able to motivate his players and keep him going even when it is a group of younger players. Like he's got 2 freshman starters. It's probably been difficult for him to adjust to that adversity. But I think he brings the calm, collected mindset they need. And, he's always sticking with it. He's always trying to learn more. He talks about how he's reading these leadership books and he has other coaches that are mentors to him. So I think he's really trying to learn from those people, because even though he's a good coach, you know, of course, with him just being a younger coach, he's still trying to learn from those more experienced coaches. And then he also, another thing about Mike Boynton is he's just a genuine person. He owns up to, you know, he takes the attitude of leadership starts with me, the responsibility starts with me, and then it's my job to relay that message to the guys. And he's never strayed from that all season. If he's not happy with how a game goes, I mean, he'll admit what was wrong. So I think that just genuine honesty too has helped.
You know, Reed and I both think the program's in good hands with Mike Boynton. I think you'd agree. Can you talk about what the future could look like for the Cowboys?
Yeah, despite this season being rough, I think that they have a pretty bright future, mainly because of this next recruiting class that's coming in. So Boynton's been doing a great job with recruiting. Some of the names to watch for in the future are the Boone twins, Caleb and Keelan, and then you've got Avery Anderson, who I'm excited to see what he can do at OSU, and Marcus Watson is another one. So you've got some guys who I think can really come in and boost the program. And then once you have them on the team, and also guys like Isaac and Yor growing after their freshman year, and then a senior core of Lindy, Cam, and Thomas, I think it could be a pretty strong team. And obviously next year they're still going to have some adjustments to make. But I think what Boynton said about being excited about getting this program the next 2 years is good. If they can just kind of ride out this tough one, then I think there's better days ahead of them for sure.
Right. So really quickly, last time they played the Red Raiders, a bad loss, second worst home loss in school history, 78-50 loss on February 13th to the Red Raiders. Number 11, Texas Tech, they're down in Lubbock. What do you think is going to happen tonight?
I don't know. It's going to be tough for him. You know, it's hard for me to predict that the Cowboys will win, not just because of how the season's gone for them, but because of how good Texas Tech is. And it's a rough stretch for the Cowboys. You know, first they have to travel to Manhattan and face Kansas State, which was the top team in the Big 12. And then after losing to them, they've got to go face the second-ranked team in the Big 12. So it's not going to be easy. They've got to limit Matt Mooney, who was able to really make an impact from 3 in the last game. But, you know, I think Texas Tech's got this one.
Well, it's going to be a tough battle, to say the least. One game back are the Red Raiders in the Big 12. Thank you so much for coming on. As we said, Oklahoma State down in Lubbock tonight for another Big 12 matchup. Back to the news desk.
That is it for today's sports. When we come back after the break, Mally will give you a review of what's happening today, and we'll have you a weather update. Stay tuned.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems.
We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories.
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100-degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Rolling.
Big things are happening in national and international politics. Today, President Trump was in Vietnam to meet with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, and Venezuela's self-proclaimed president is planning on returning to Venezuela, even with the chance of arrest upon arrival. For weather, we're going outside with Sapphire.
Okay, so this morning, cars were covered with ice when people woke up trying to come to class, and then walking to class, they actually slid to class because today we had a surprise ice storm. School got canceled around 2:30, and there's no telling what the weather's going to do now because, as you can see, it's just getting colder and colder as the day goes by. Cars seem to be doing fine. The roads don't seem to be too bad, but it is Oklahoma, so we never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow it is supposed to warm up a little bit, so maybe the ice won't stick to the ground, but tonight it's going to be a cold one, and that's for sure. There's a lot of ice flurries still coming out of the sky. The Courier Fair went on, and people still made it to that, so the roads don't seem to be affecting anyone too bad. But back to you, Mally.
Thanks, Sapphire, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.